Good morning, class. Today is Friday, the last day of our school week. Friday. Yesterday was Thursday. Today is Friday. So yesterday was Thursday. That's the day above. And tomorrow will be what? Saturday, the day below. And our month is May. Our date is the 7th. And when you look at your window, do you see a little bit of sun and a little bit of cloud? Partly cloudy. Our year is 2021. Now let's put all of that together on our calendar. Friday, May the 7th. Oh, we need red, black, red. 2021. What did we say yesterday was? Thursday. Tomorrow will be Saturday. Our season is spring. Alrighty. And if you look at our Bible time for today, the story that you're going to read and talk about with your family is the big guys on our side. Now, who's the big guy? That's Jesus, of course. He's bigger than anyone and anything and any problem because he made you and he made this world and he knows the best way to live. So if anything's bothering us or making us feel afraid, who do we go to? Our best friend, Jesus. And of course, he's put family in our lives to help us as well. So let's practice that memory verse. Today's the day when you say it by yourself. Let's practice it together first, one last time. When I am afraid, I will put my trust in you. And where's that found? In the book of Psalms, chapter 56, verse 3. One more time. When I am afraid, I will put my trust in you. Psalms 56, verse 3. Send those memory verses in. I love seeing you say them. All right, moving on to our language. JKs, let's read our little D book together. Pointing to the words, please. My little D book. Page number 1. D, dog, D-O-G. That's the Og family. Dog digs. Number 2, another word that starts with D. Another animal that starts with D. Duck digs. I wonder what they're digging. Page number 3, dinosaur digs. Page number 4, dinosaur digs down deep. There's 4 words there and they all start with D. Let's read them together again. Dinosaur digs down deep. And he sure did. Do you think dog and duck helped him out? Maybe they started the hole and dinosaur finished it. Now it's a pit. I read my little book too. Please practice reading by looking at the pictures and listening to the words, and then you try. See if you can read it to 3 different people. That's called practicing, right? When we do it more than once. Have fun with that. And SKs, let's move on to your little book. We know who this guy is. We've seen him before. His name is Zip, right? Zip did it. Zip did it. Did starts with D, id. I wonder what he did. Let's find out. Page number 2. Zip hid his wig. Zip hid his wig. In our last book, we saw him with his wig on. I guess he doesn't like his wig anymore. Page number 3. Zip hid his bib. Let's follow those words together. Zip hid his bib. Zip digs. Oh, there's some digging in this book too. Oh, what's he going to put in the hole? What do you think? Page number 5. Zip the pig hid. He hid himself. Zip the pig hid. Oh, let's read everything that we've read so far on all the other pages. Zip hid his wig. Zip hid his bib. Zip digs. Zip the pig hid. And on this page, you can practice reading by reading it to 3 different people. And then on the last page, you are the illustrator. You draw the artwork for this book and then sign your name. Have fun with that as you practice reading. And JKs and SK, since we're talking about insects this week, I've included a fun coloring page for you. Instead of following numbers, on this page you're following letters. So what letter would we start at? We would start at A, of course. And follow the letters of the alphabet to trace the insect. What do you think it is? Does it look like a bee? And then color it in your neatest coloring. Or maybe it's a fly. Have fun with that. All right. Let's take some time to stretch before we do our math. We sang a song called The Grand Old Duke of York. We sang it a long time ago. We haven't sung it in a while. Do you remember it? Let's practice it together. It helps us move. The grand old Duke of York, he had 10,000 men, and when he marched them up the hill, he marched them down again. And when they were up, they were up, and when they were down, they were down, and when they were only halfway up, they're neither up nor down. The grand old Duke of York, he had 10,000 men, and when he marched them up the hill, he marched them down again. And when they were up, they were up, and when they were down, they were down, and when they were only halfway up, they're neither up nor down. The grand old Duke of York, he had 10,000 men, and when he marched them up the hill, he marched them down again. When they were up, they're up, when they were down, they're down, when they're only halfway up, they're neither up nor down. Do you think we can go one more time, even faster? The grand old Duke of York had 10,000 men, when he marched them up the hill, marched them down again. When they were up, they're up, when they're down, they're down, when they're only halfway up, they're neither up nor down. Well, I know I need to take a deep breath and let it out slowly. One more. And let it out slowly. Wiggle those fingers. And let's get ready to talk about our math. All right, JKs. Last week, or the week before, I gave you a rocket to practice counting backwards from 10 to 1. Well, today, you get to practice counting backwards from 20 to 1. So cut the rectangles with the numbers apart, mix them up, and then put them in backwards order from 20 down to 1. And that's how much time the rocket has before it blasts off. Can we count from 20 backwards right now together? 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. So that was from 20 down to 10. So we have 10 more because we know there's two groups of 10 and 20. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Blast off! I know you can do that. And while you're doing it, it's helping you practice your numbers from 1 to 20 and 20 to 1. SKs, you are working on a couple of pages from your workbook. You're still working on number bonds. That's another way of saying adding two numbers together to get an answer. So, we'll use our whiteboard to help us practice. On the first side of your book, it has squares with dots. Here's a square. And the first one has 9 dots in it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now it says you can divide those dots up however you want. In the first one, they did an example for you, and they divided it up with 1 dot and then 8 dots. 1 and then 8. So, the first little box there has 1. Here's our bond. It's 1. The other one has how many? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, we join those together. That means 1 plus 8 equals 9. And we can see that in this picture. 1 plus 8 equals 9. Let's count them and see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, how else could we divide those dots up? We can divide them up any way we want. This time, I'm going to put a box or a rectangle around 3. So in this rectangle up here, we have 3 dots. So we'll put a 3 here. And in this rectangle below, we have how many dots? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the number bond is 3 plus 6 equals 9. So these 3 at the top all have 9 dots, and you need to find different ways to divide up the 9 dots to make 3 different number bonds. Down below, the rectangles have 10 dots in them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 5 and 5. So let's do one of those. Here's a rectangle with 10 dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now how do I want to divide that up? I'm going to do 6 on this side and 4 on that side. What does that look like? Does it look like a domino? If you have dominoes at home, they can help you practice number bonds. We said you could practice with beans or Cheerios or maybe even popcorn pieces. Anything that helps you count 2 numbers and add them together. So here's our domino with 6 dots on one side and 4 on the other. So how are we going to make this number bond? The 2 numbers we're adding together are 6 and 4. 6 plus 4 equals, and these are joined together to make the answer, and it's 10, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Can you see that below? I'll move it up a little bit. So that's going to be 10. Maybe a little bit higher. There we go. Let's try a different way to make 10, because these 3 questions at the bottom of the page all have 10 dots in them. I'm going to rub this out and divide them a different way. There's still 10 dots there, but now I'm going to divide them right here. Now how many do I have on this side? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're going to change this number to 8. And how many do I have on this side? 1, 2. So 8 plus 2, it still equals 10 because there's still 10 in here. I just divided them up a different way. You can go ahead with that. And then on the other side of your page, it has given you pictures, and you don't have to decide how to divide them. They've already divided them up for you. So let's do one of those together. The first one has 10 apples on the top and 2 apples on the bottom. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And 2, then it has a line in between. And 2 underneath. 1, 2. Put your little stems on there. All right. So now let's make the number bond for that. Ten plus 2 equals, let's find out what it equals. We know this is 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 10 plus 2 equals 12. All right, you can go ahead and do the rest of the pictures on that page and the number bonds by yourself. Well, I think that's a lot of work for this morning, and I think it's time for us to relax with our story. Now, yesterday we didn't get a chance to finish our interesting insect book, so I think we'll finish that one up today. We stopped with the fuzzy caterpillars, 10 fuzzy caterpillars that can twist their bodies almost into a question mark. So they're called the question mark caterpillars. What comes after 10? 11. What kind of insects do we have here? Pill bugs are not really bugs. Can you see those pill bugs? It says they're not really bugs. These 11 pill bugs are crustaceans. Oh, that means they have a hard outer shell. Just like lobsters and crabs are crustaceans. If you touch a pill bug, it will roll itself up into a ball. So that's how it protects itself. And it looks like a little pill. So that's why it's called the pill bug. Pill bugs also look like tiny little armadillos. Can you see that with those lines on their hard crust on the outside of their skin? They do look kind of like tiny armadillos. What comes after 11? 12. Tree hoppers are great jumpers. Oh, I could barely even see them. Can you see them? They're camouflaged. They're the same color as that twig. See those green little... Let me see if I can point to one. See, there's a couple right there. Those are tree hoppers. So they protect themselves by camouflaging. These 12 oak tree hoppers look like thorns. Can you see that? Their shape allows them to hide near real thorns. It also makes them hard to count. Let's see if we can do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I found them, but I'm looking closer than you are. I'll give you a chance. Well, moving on. What comes after 12? 11, 12. This is a 1 and a 2, one group of 10 and 2 more. So next is 13. One group of 10 plus 3 more. 13. On this page are 13 nut weevils. Weevils are bugs that have very long mouths. Many people have heard of boll weevils, the bugs that ruin cotton crops. Not many people have heard of nut weevils. Would you like it if your first name was Nut? Well, there they are. They're hard to see too. They're brown. Can you see those nut weevils? With their very long mouths coming out front. There's 13 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Well, I think, 12, 13. The ones that are on the brown nuts are very hard to spot. Again, they're camouflaging. So what do you think comes after 13? One group of 10 and 3 more. One group of 10 and 4 more, and that is 14. 14 millipedes are running around. Gardeners welcome millipedes because they chew up wood and turn it into plant food. The word millipede means 1,000 legs. That's a lot of legs. Millipedes do not really have 1,000 legs, but they do have a lot of legs. I think it would be hard to walk on 1,000 legs. Can you see the millipedes? They're chewing up the wood, and that makes plant food. What comes after 14? If you said 15, you're right. One group of 10 and 5 more. What are these bugs? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 longhorn beetles. They do not really have horns. They have long antennas. Can you see the long antennas? They're very long. It would be pretty funny if longhorn cattle had antennas. Have you seen longhorn cattle? Yesterday we talked about water buffaloes, and they have horns that look like a helmet. They're longhorn cattle. Can you imagine cows with antennas? All right. After 15, we have 16. One group of 10 and 6 more. When you are counting on this page, do not count the dead grasshopper. These 16 bugs are called kissing bugs, but they do not kiss other bugs. They bite other bugs in the face, usually around the mouth. Kissing bugs are not very nice. It sounds like they're nice and friendly, but they're actually mean. Can you see the dead one right here? So there's 16 live ones. Let's see if we can count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's hard for Mrs. Peddler to count. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And one dead guy. He must have got bit in the mouth by one of the other ones. The kissing bugs. Yucky. All right, after 16 comes 17, one group of 10, and 7 more. These 17 metallic-looking bugs are called jewel bugs. Can you see why they're called jewel bugs? They're sparkly, aren't they? Sparkly green. Like other bugs, jewel bugs have a shell on the outside of their bodies that is called an exoskeleton that protects their inside. This means that their skeleton is on the outside of their bodies. Bugs do not have bones on their insides. We talked about our skeleton. It's our bones on the inside. But bugs have an exoskeleton. They've got the hard part on the outside. They're kind of pretty, aren't they? Jewel beetles. What comes after 17? 18. One group of 10 and 8 more. Here are 18 ironclad beetles. They probably got their name because their bodies are so hard. Their white bodies have black spots, and they make them look like dogs that are called Dalmatians. Have you seen a Dalmatian dog with spots, like the firehouse dog? Well, see, these beetles have dots on them. They're called the ironclad beetle because their exoskeleton is hard. Comes after 18, 19. One group of 10 and 9 more. Underground, trying to stay cool in the very hot desert, are 19 honeypot ants. We know that ants work very hard and they can carry things over their head that are 10 times their weight. Some fill their bodies with water and honey and hang upside down to feed the other ants during the long dry season. Isn't that interesting? They're underground trying to stay cool, and in the hot weather in the hot desert, they fill their bodies up, you can see how they're round, with water and honey and hang upside down and feed the other ants during the long, dry season. Those are the honey pot ants. They look like a pot hanging upside down. People eat these ants because they taste great. Well, what about you? Would you want to eat a honey pot ant? I don't think I would, but I guess they taste sweet because they have honey and water inside. And that's nice of them to share with the other ants. What comes after 19? On our rockets, we were counting backwards from 20 to 0 and frontwards from 0 to 20. So of course, after 19 comes 20. That's 2 groups of 10. Can you show me that with your hands? 10, 20. 2 groups of 10. Well, we have 20 glowworms glowing in the dark. Glowworms are not worms. Years ago, anything that was long and wiggly was called a worm. These glowworms are really beetles. Isn't that cool, and aren't they pretty? Well, there you go. 20 different interesting insects in the Icky Bug Counting Book. Some of them were icky, but some of them were kind of cool. We had the zebra swallowtail butterfly. We had the flies, yellow jacket flies, because they have yellow on their jacket, and they look kind of like yellow jacket wasps. We had elegant crab spiders. They look kind of like crabs with their long legs, but they're really spiders, crab spiders. Paper wasps, because they make their nests out of paper. They use chewed up wood and their own saliva to make paper. Those are the paper wasps. We had viceroy butterflies that look like monarch butterflies. We had underwing moths that can camouflage like the bark of a tree. We had trapjaw ants with their long traps. We had stink bugs that protect themselves by being stinky. We had red milkweed beetles that lay their eggs on milkweed. We had question mark caterpillars. We had pill bugs that curl up into a tiny little pill shape. We had tree hoppers that look like the pokey part of a branch or thorns. We had nut weevils that can camouflage on nuts. We had millipedes that have many legs and they chew up wood to make plant food, so gardeners like them. We had longhorn beetles that look kind of like have long horns like some cattle do. We had kissing bugs, which are really biting bugs. We had ironclad beetles that have dots and a tough outer skeleton. We had honeypot ants that are sweet and share their honey with the other ants by hanging upside down. And we had glowworms that are beautiful at nighttime. Well, God made a beautiful, interesting world, even with the insects. You have an interesting afternoon and evening and weekend. And be very nice to your mother this weekend. Because on Sunday, it's Mother's Day. And tomorrow, we're going to meet together tomorrow morning at 11 to do a craft for your mom. So I'm looking forward to seeing you all tomorrow morning. Bye for now.